which brings us to track 2. Dead Cthulhu Waits Dreaming was very unlike Among the Flowers. Was an earlier written song, perhaps the third song, I believe, it was penned for this album. I've always been a big Lovecraft fan, so in these earlier works of Savior Sect, particularly with the first 2 demos and the third demo, I was very influenced by readings. Readings would kind of set a mode for me, and from the readings I would take those ideas and mix them with my own fantasy ideas, and again emotions that were happening in real life around me, and it would be an amalgamation of all these things that would come together. Dead Cthulhu Waits Dreaming was kind of more or less heavily leaning towards the fantasy readings of H.P. Lovecraft, obviously. I was a huge Lovecraft fan, still am today, recently rediscovering that stuff as we speak right now. Been reading a few stories not that long ago and kind of reversing myself with some pulp horror in conjunction with my own solo records in newer or later times here. But looking back on that one, kind of a slow, morbid piece. I think songs like this were really beginning to set the format for later Savior Sect. I think with this, while this was still kind of a verse chorus type of structure, I think the real tenets of the dark, creepy moods that I was really starting to enjoy, both through the guitar experiments, though feeling rather incompetent or uncomfortable still with the guitar, recording this demo, really an alien object in my hand. But with the keyboards and these kind of improvised overlays I was trying to create with the limited effects pedals I had at the time, was really setting a true foundation for later Savior Sect. Though we would lean heavily towards improv in our later tapes of the 90s, this was definitely a precursor to that sound, and Dead Cthulhu Waits Dreaming is a perfect example. The song itself suffered probably the worst recording on the record. Lots of noise got in. Again, it was very I was very inexperienced with working with the 8-track recorder. Again, I was in a real hurry to get these songs out too. I couldn't spend too much time to sit and learn this because the nature of how things had broken up around us, and my intentions of keeping Anastasia on board required me to move at a faster pace in order to keep up with holding Savior Sect together at all. Song kind of retrospect, or a long track, kind of meanders a little bit. Try to keep it, added some poetry in the center, and tried to do that whole 9 yards, and backing vocals, and really tried to set an atmosphere of Lovecraftian mood. Again, lyrics not straight horror out of Lovecraft, though kind of thematically we kept that theme, but a lot of me being poured into it too, of just kind of an interpretation of the song. Again, as with all of Story in Your Eyes, some kind of amateurish throw together with things. Again, the guitar is not really coming together completely well, I guess, but not bad for a third effort of me picking up the guitar and really, again, this was a starting point which would be improved upon. Other than that, I don't have a great recollection of recording the songs. I remember Anastasia would come down. She would record the vocals 3 times, and I would kind of try to take the best vocal and kind of layer the other ones behind it. Whether we needed 3 vocals tracks, which we didn't later on because we had more effects to work with to deepen the sound of the vocals without having to do that. Plus we didn't have as many tracks later on, but at this point in time we really were trying to focus on getting her vocals to sound thick and deep and added that dark, luster to the music. So yeah, there you have it. Did Cthulhu Waits Dreaming. Track